The road trip is over. The RBZ is now in its new garage, but we almost didn't make it here. Boys and girls, I cannot tell you how thankful I am to have this last week be over, to have the car physically here in Portland, Oregon now at my brother's house, and to have it all here in one piece because it has been quite a journey. The car almost didn't make it. That said, we need a little story time behind all that. So I posted a lot of stuff on social medias about different things that were going on during the trip. Long story short, I think the rear main seal of the RB26 decided to go out while we were on our road trip. We were just outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I think we had about 50 more miles to go. I decided to pull over real quick, just kind of let the RBZ cool down a little bit, let us cool down a bit. Posted on Instagram. We think we came up with the name for the RBZ to be Hot Sweaty Betty because we were freaking hot and we were sweaty and she was just rocking it, you know, like Betty Rubble? I don't know. As I started to pull away from the gas station, I noticed some fresh oil spots right in the spot that I was at, and I thought, well, there's no way that's the RBZ because my car doesn't do that, but damn, those things look fresh. So I kind of disregarded. We kept driving down the road, started smelling kind of more of an oil smell, like a burning oil, but when you're on the interstate, there's no telling whether or not that's you or whether that's cars in front of you. Sometimes it's hard when you're in a lot of traffic. So we just kept on driving on, got to the hotel, got checked in. Our room was just a little ways away. I started to pull the car away, and that's when I noticed another spotting of oil, and I thought, you know what, it's too consequential. So I turned the car around, and then I could actually physically see it starting to drip from the transmission. So went into fight or flight mode. I actually busted out the tools, busted out the jack. I picked the car up, and sure enough, it was coming out of a little opening port on the bell housing right between the engine and the transmission. It didn't smell like gear oil. It definitely smelled like engine oil. Furthermore, all along the bottom of the car, like from the front to the back, it was just completely coated in oil underneath, all originating from the bell housing. There was some on the exhaust where it had been burning, and it was actually leaving burnt, brownish, blackish oil stain. And then on the back of the car, all along the back of the car, there's like a fine mist of oil. So I sprang into emergency action, trying to figure out what to do. We still had a long ways to go, guys. Our trip in total was 38 hours. It was long. It was really long. We still had a long ways to go. I just did not want to chance it. It looked like the Z had lost a lot of oil. The dipstick was still looking at a reasonable level, so I don't really know what to think about that, but I sprang into action. I was able to reserve a U-Haul truck and a trailer. We loaded it up the next day. I had to take the front bumper off. We had to kind of finagle it at a certain angle, but ended up getting it loaded, and we just kept on trucking on. Our first stop was to arrive at our parents' house just outside of Denver, Colorado. Actually, my folks live in Loveland, which is the same place where the Boosted Boys live. There was hope that if the car had been running, we were going to stop by PFI and actually like pop in on the Boosted Boys and maybe even see if old boy could freaking tune the Z up a little bit. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, that wasn't the case. We hung out there for a little while, got to actually hang out with my little brother, who you guys may have remembered on the trip to Texas, where we stopped in California and hung out in his food truck. And then we kept on driving on, man. Went through Wyoming. Beautiful, beautiful area. Never been through that area. Ended up going through Idaho. Spent an overnight in Twin Falls, Idaho, which was incredible, man. Sweet little awesome small town. Really enjoyed the people, the place, the atmosphere. Everything was really cool. And we finally made it to Portland, Oregon. Just been here since. So here she is. This is my brother's house garage. She's got good company by his beer fridge. I guess these two can just start a relationship of sorts. She's now all cleaned. I took her to the car wash while it was still in the trailer, so I cleaned the entire undercarriage of all the oil. Everything's been cleaned. The engine bay's been cleaned. One follow-up, it has now been sitting in this garage for a couple days and no fuel smell whatsoever. PTFE lines, exactly the solution. If you're gonna do your own braided lines, it has to be PTFE. Do not make the mistake of using regular fuel line. It'll stink up your freaking garage. That's unfortunate. That's seriously garbage. I don't understand how that works. She's good now, man. I'm freaking stoked. She's running good. She's doing well. I'm not really driving her much. I don't want to cause any more problems. I don't want to be leaking all over my brother's garage. Just need to touch up the inside. But today is the last day I'm in Portland. I'm actually headed to Hawaii tomorrow. This is where the RBZ is going to be staying for the next several years. While I take this new job opportunity, I wanted to take the RBZ with me, and that may still be a thing, or would have. Definitely not now. Definitely not now. One of the things I wanted to do on this car this last year that I never got a chance to, I wanted to actually swap out the transmission. I've been debating about going with a 97 plus spec Z32 5-speed or switching out to the CD009 350Z transmission. Been on the fence about that. I also want to upgrade the clutch to a twin disc because of the squeaking that we've been having. And now since I have to replace that rear main seal, it just gives me more of an excuse to swap that transmission out. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing, but not anytime soon. I just don't have the time. I don't have the resources, and it just is what it is. And that's fine, because I don't want to sell this car, and my brother is being a BA mofo about letting me store this car here, and he's going to be taking care of it, and that's all right, all fine, and amazing. So I'm super, super excited about that. I'm glad that I don't have to come around to selling it, and yeah. Content on the RBZ, guys, it's over. It's done. There's no more content on the RBZ, or there won't be for a very, very long time. But eventually, it'll come back around. So what's happening in the meantime? As I talked about, I am looking forward to a project. I've already been talking with Tom at Custom Import Arts, and he has an R33 GTS 25T set aside for me already, just waiting for me to show up. Also got my eyes on a Nissan Sunny GTI-R, which is the Pulsar but left-hand drive. That's really kind of what I want to get into. One of those kinds of cars is going to be the next major project car of the TueZday Garage for the unforeseeable future. Maybe even both of them. On occasion, we're definitely going to take road trips up to Tom's place in Belgium. Definitely going to be wrenching on some freaking hot GTRs and other exotic cars up there in his shop. I'm excited about that. While I'm here, I want to show you some of the cool stuff that my brother has going on in his life. Man, he's got some pretty sweet toys. Number one, he's got this Toyota Tacoma TRD edition supercharged. Like, this baby is freaking BA. Like, his whole motivation about owning this truck all had to do with Marty McFly and Back to the Future. This car is sweet. And this is Chris's actual big time project car. You've been working on this for about 7 years, I think?
2 months. It's been about 2 months.
2 months, 7 years. This is an Asuna Sunfire. This is like the Canadian version of the Isuzu Impulse. Super freaking awesome car. Came in a couple different options. Had the 1.6 liter and the 1.8 liter. This is the 1.8 liter. We're gonna be doing some freaking work on it today. Over the last few years, he's actually been working on this car, mostly engine type stuff. This is such an awesome shop too, man. This is a freaking sweet shop. Chris has got a pretty awesome property.
Yeah, boss hog.
This is the engine that he's been rebuilding, and like everything on this thing has been touched. Forged internals, right?
Yeah.
Forged pistons, rods, everything about this thing. Compression is actually lowered on it. The valve train's been done. He's been working on like basically making everything fresh, everything new. The reason why he went ahead and built the entire bottom end, as you can see from this lovely manifold, is because this freaking beast is going to be eventually headed onto this engine. This thing is going to scream, dude. Was not originally a turbocharged engine, but again, he has built this thing to be a freaking beast. Kind of our mission today is to kind of get some final things prepped in the engine bay so that he can get that painted and refurbished, and then probably dropping this engine in hopefully soon.
Yeah, soon, this summer.
Yeah, but we have to work out all the rest of the custom piping and the oiling and the cooling and the freaking oil cooler. Just all the little things that are not meant to be here. As with any project car, it's the fabrication part that takes the most time.
And now we just got to make the engine bay all sexy like.
That's right.
Can't have balls without them looking sexy. You cut that out.
What is that? But yeah, so we got this far in 2 months.
Been almost 5 years.
Okay, so all the fabrication, we're saying probably another 15 and we're good. Not. 15 months.
15 weeks.
15 weeks.
There we go. So we're running in 15 weeks. You're welcome, Lisa.
Cool freaking car, man. Super cool car. Extremely hard to source parts for. Our mission today is to just gut everything out of here so he can get it prepped for paint and get it moving on. Maybe someday eventually all-wheel drive conversion.
Yeah, Got to get it running first.
So, yeah, very, very cool. He's got a lot of cool toys. He's also got a brand new
2016 Mazda 3.
Yeah, very cool car, man. That thing is, I think he's got some freaking torque, like crazy torque. It'll snap your neck around a little bit. I was starting to feel like maybe I was elevation sick, and then I just realized I was whiplashy riding with him, so.
Yeah, we're only at 50 elevations, so I don't think that's an excuse.
As I said before, the Z is in super good hands, guys. Do not worry about the potential weirdness of Portland. He's going to take care of it. This really does bring kind of a sad but a bittersweet ending to this entire project, to this entire story, if you will. I'm sad that the series of events that unfolded during our trip here actually happened. You know, it's definitely not part of the plan. But the good news is that we caught it, man. Like, had we actually been on the road in some of that freaking desolate areas, like the high deserts and some of the other places that we were, and that rear main seal just went suddenly and dumped all of its oil, and we were in the middle of nowhere at 100+ degrees temperature, that would have been some scary crap. That would have been some terrifying, scary junk, man. Because a lot of those cities out there are few and far between. The fact that we caught it, investigated, and was able to react in a responsible way, and the good fortune of being able to get that U-Haul truck, not to mention the freaking dude at the U-Haul like gave me the hookup, bro. Gave me a more powerful truck and knocked off several $100s, which really made that awesome. But it was a good trip. It was a good trip regardless. It wasn't as cool. But luckily, it didn't end in an exploding grenade of RB26 either, so very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I'm leaving Portland tomorrow. Probably going to be a while before you see me again, but when we get back together, it will definitely be part of a new adventure in a new land and starting evaluation and work on a brand new project car in the TueZday Garage. If there is a TueZday Garage. So that's going to be it, guys. From Portland, Oregon, ciao a tutti, and aloha. Bye-bye.
Entschuldigung.